The economic numbers coming out of the White House today are awesome. The expectations were already pretty high, and the liberals were hitting the president all through the month of June. I don't think growth is going to be as high as the president expects. There's a lot of people still unemployed, on and on and on about the recession. Well, you think the American people have shown that we value work. Even the president, though, is saying things like, there's more incentive to stay at home and collect unemployment than there is to actually go to work. Sometimes you'll be making more money. The job growth numbers really show that Americans want to work. We value our time and that we put into our work, and we value what we're able to create with our hands and our minds. Not afraid of work. This is America. We're trying to make our American dream come true. But there's still a lot of people that aren't working. And so despite the good news, I already see it happening. Come July, at the end of this month, the economic cliff is what the left is calling it is going to be reached, and there's going to be a lot of people that are going to stop receiving their CARES Act subsidy, and there's going to be some economic pain that's going to be felt. It's going to be felt in the community. It's going to be felt in the family. The families will have less money to spend in the community, so it's going to create some problems, and the jobs just aren't there for everyone yet. They're coming back quickly, but not everywhere, and not for everyone. And this is in the middle of another story today showing that CNN has the highest ratings they've had in 40 years. Make no mistake about it, liberals are watching, they're paying attention. Swing voters are watching, they're paying attention. And even though that most conservatives understand that CNN is fake news, not everyone does. There's a lot of people in this country. A lot of people in this country, and we really have to start anticipating how they're going to attack the president and beating them at their own game. One of the things that we can do is extend unemployment CARES Act protection in states that are still showing a resurgence in COVID-19. I live in Florida. I'll tell you what, Florida's not opened up yet. I live in Northwest Florida, right? The Panhandle is probably the best place in the entire state for COVID-19, and even here it's pretty slow. So if we extend unemployment benefits to the individuals that live in states that are showing a problem with COVID-19 still, we can let them lapse in other states, so it's not such a huge economic bill to pay. But at the same time, the left can no longer say that our president's not compassionate, insert all the ad hominems they're going to throw at him there. And then he gets to claim two victories. Number one, he's the jobs president. Resurgence in American jobs is hard to ignore, but also at the same time, he's a compassionate president. And he's helping families and communities that really, truly are suffering from economic shutdown and the implications of what COVID-19 is doing to the job market. This is the most important election of our lives. Joe Biden could have the opportunity to pick 3 Supreme Court justices in 2020. Who do you think he's going to pick? Given that opportunity. Ruth Bader's not going to last. She almost left during the Trump presidency, and they got her on life support somewhere just trying to, hold on, Ruth, hold on. But with Thomas and Alito both suggesting that they want to leave, it would be an absolute disaster. Disaster is too weak a word. There's not a word in the English language that would truly signify or symbolize how utterly crushing 3 Biden picks would be for this country. See, every single failed, wretched piece of socialist legislation the left could scramble together would be absolutely supported by the Supreme Court. Every court case that could be sent to the Supreme Court would be ruled in liberal favor. And the broken circuit court in California would be sending all kinds of immigration bills to the Supreme Court, knowing that the Supreme Court's going to rule in their favor. It would be a disaster in so many different ways. Everything from our immigration laws to whatever else the liberals want to jam down our throat would be perfectly fine, and there'd be no checks and balances against it. This is such an important election. I really do worry about the impressionable, the people that don't follow politics being swayed by these ridiculous talking points. And not only that, but the families that truly need the money and need the assistance right now being hurt because of this economic shutdown. So it's kind of a twofold problem. Like, I don't want the negative publicity being aimed at our president because the unemployment benefits have run out in areas that are still affected by COVID-19, but those families also need to be supported. Not all of them are liberal, especially in Florida. So it's just kind of my idea on how to get ahead of the story that the left are going to be throwing at the president. I think a return to work incentive isn't going to really cut it. There's just no works in a lot of these places to be found yet. This hasn't returned. Why? Because the spending isn't there. People aren't going out into the community and buying what they need to because there's not a lot of money in their pockets. This shutdown has cost a lot of people. You know, people have mortgages, they have multiple car payments, they have insurance, they have grocery bills. Not everybody gets food stamps. I mean, the people that are hurt the worst by this shutdown were those that didn't qualify for food stamps. They lived just above the poverty line. You know, under 80,000 but over 40, that range. And they're voters, almost all of them, always. You know, so it's important that we don't shoot ourselves in the foot moving forward. I really think it's a great idea. Extend the CARES Act, unemployment protection in areas like Florida that are hit by COVID, Texas, and make sure you tell the American people you're doing it and why, but at the same time let it lapse in areas that are showing signs of recovery, and then just reap all the praise and the reward and the glory for the job growth that we're experiencing. And you know, there's no weakness there. You're helping people that are in need, and the American economy is rebounding just like you said it would. Yeah, this is the most important election of our life, man. Trump 2020. It's the only way we're going to keep our republic. And somebody should remind those fake Republicans that are attacking our president of that. It's unconscionable that anyone that claims they're a conservative Republican would support Joe Biden and the socialist left.